Hi, I'm Amber Anderson. I'm a leadership coach, and I help leaders learn how to maximize their impact in a way that is authentic, joyful, and expansive through content, coaching, and community. Welcome to the channel. Let's dive in. I want to talk about leadership development today. I don't think anyone would disagree that it's really important for leaders to continue developing their skills. Things like change management, decision making, effective communication, conflict resolution, establishing expectations, creating KPIs, all the things that revolve around performance management, building trust, all those skills that you need to effectively build and lead high performing and highly engaged teams are really critical. So it's really important that regardless of how long you've been a leader or at what level in the organization you are, you continue to develop these skills. But developing these skills alone is just not enough anymore. It doesn't cut it for leadership development anymore. You probably get support to develop these skills through learning experiences offered by your organization. At the very least, you can read books, watch webinars, YouTube videos, things like that. But like I said, this just isn't enough anymore. Not in today's really complex, fast moving, constantly changing environment. Leaders need more than just skill set training. So, while traditional leadership development is still really important, to be a high impact coach to your team without overwhelm and burnout, you also need to learn how to manage your mind and regulate your nervous system. The mindset work is important because how we think is how we lead. Our thoughts determine how we feel, and how we feel influences how we show up. Other words, how we lead. But how often do you actually think about your thinking? Right? It's a little strange to think about it that way. But really, your mind is the most powerful leadership tool you're ever going to have access to. It's also probably the most underutilized. This isn't your fault. We just are very used to being busy all the time and kind of being reactive and going about our days on default. I realize this sounds very dramatic, but it's really important to think about it because, again, how you think is how you lead. I always say you have to manage your mind before you can manage others. And I talk about leaders who have an unmanaged mind. Again, nobody's fault. We're not really trained to think about our thinking. And what I mean by an unmanaged mind is you're just not being intentional about what you're thinking and believing. Unfortunately, this most often leads to feelings like frustration, being resentful, judgmental, feeling defeated or overwhelmed, feeling useless, or experiencing anxiety. But how effective can you be as a leader when you're feeling this way? On the other hand, a managed mind, one where you're paying attention to what you're thinking and being intentional about choosing thoughts that are helpful rather than hurtful or damaging, most often leads to feelings like empowered, helpful, confident, productive, effective, impactful, and calm. But why should you care really about how you're feeling day to day in your leadership? Well, let's say that you have a team member who's often demanding and what you consider negative. You can think about him however you want, right? You can think he's so high maintenance, I cannot deal with this right now. When you think that thought, you probably feel something like frustrated or annoyed. But instead, you could also choose to think, I'm practicing patience, I'm building resilience, and this is going to help both of us. When you think that thought, you probably feel more empowered or even effective. How do you show up differently when you're feeling effective versus when you're feeling frustrated? Which version of yourself would you rather be? The answer is pretty obvious, right? This is why I work on skill set and mindset with the leaders that I coach. But we don't stop there. There's a third layer to the work that I do because when your nervous system is activated, meaning you're feeling anxious or experiencing one of those other disruptive emotions that I just mentioned, it's what we often refer to it as being like in a fight or flight response, right? Or even a freeze fawn response. Well, when you're dysregulated, when your nervous system is activated and you're in one of these responses, it's almost impossible to manage your mind and choose thoughts that are helpful on purpose. It's really hard to access that part of your brain that's logical and enables you to be intentional. This is exactly why we also work on energetics and somatics practices. Knowing a few key body based techniques to quickly dissolve your anxiety and bring yourself back into a calm state in the exact moment you're experiencing the stress is a critical missing piece to pretty much every leadership development I have ever experienced. What's even cooler is that by incorporating simple practices into your day to build your emotional resilience, gradually expands your window of tolerance. That is your optimal nervous system state when you're able to remain calm and focused no matter what's happening around you. Before you know it, those things that used to completely stress you out just don't seem like that big of a deal anymore. How amazing would that be? So, yes, in my coaching and programs, you get the leadership skill set you'd expect to get, but you also get the brain based mindset tools and the body energy based emotional regulation tools that you need to actually implement your new skills and accelerate your results with joy and ease. And here's a really exciting thing about this video. If you're watching this in real time, meaning the week of November 20th, 2023, consider this your exclusive invitation to join my transformative new leadership program, the Alchemist Leader Lab, as a founding member. The lab combines these three key elements: skill set, mindset, and energetics for effective and high impact leadership development in a 12-month experience that includes content, coaching, and community. Here's the deal. As a founding member, you get access to the program at a 50% discount. That's just $1,500 for 12 full months of focus on everything I've mentioned in this video, in exchange for your participation and feedback in some content and coaching experiences as I build the program over the next 3 to 4 months. Now, this invitation is for a select number of people because I want to intentionally keep the founding group member really small. So, for a massive discount, you actually get 3 to 4 months of additional intimate support, including opportunities for one on one coaching so we can record demonstrations for the course. If you're on my email list, you already received the link to join. If you're not on my email list, first of all, what are you doing? Get on the list. But to get the private link for this invitation or to ask any questions about the invitation, just email me directly at amber@graceandgritcoaching.com. I will be sure to get back to you as soon as I can to either answer your questions or send you the link to join. This offer is valid through Monday, November 27th, or until the spots are full. In other words, don't dilly-dally. This is an incredible opportunity to get the most impactful leadership learning experience you will ever have at a no-brainer price and get 3 to 4 months of extra support. I cannot wait to see your name on my list of founding members for the Alchemist Leader Lab. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week.